Can everyone see my screen? Awesome. Thank you everyone for joining at 9 a.m. again. I know it's Friday and I know some of you joining from the States. So thank you again. And welcome to today's session. I'm Nicole from LinkedIn. I'm the Enterprise Solutions Manager. So what I do normally is I assist new corporate clients to onboard on LinkedIn and to help with their talent and learning solutions. A lot of time is really starting from scratch. So I will guide you step by step and hope to share some best practice with you all today. Feel free to feel free to follow my LinkedIn page afterwards as well. And I'd like to introduce our director, our head of partnership for talent and learning solutions in Hong Kong and Taiwan. So there's Nathan. He's literally sitting next to me.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. Good evening to some. As Nicole mentioned, my name is Nathan. I'm the head of partnership for LinkedIn, Hong Kong, and Taiwan. I've been at LinkedIn for about 8 years, so I've seen the platform grow and expand quite a lot, especially in the last few years. Before joining LinkedIn, I was also in recruitment, so I've been in the talent space for about 15 years. So loads of exciting stuff today to share with you guys. Very excited. So thank you again for joining.
So today we will spend about 30 minutes to go through these topics: why LinkedIn, how to build your brand, and how to find the top talent on LinkedIn. Then we will end with a Q&A. There's also going to be a QR code, and you can let us know what about any questions and your thoughts, and you can also access to our exclusive September promotion that we will explain more later. So I would like to start with LinkedIn vision as well. Our vision is to create economic opportunity for every member of the global workforce. We are the largest professional networking platform, and by so, we have more than 950 million of members. And we know each member's job title, we know your skill sets, we know exactly which location, which city you are located at. So we really have a really unique economic graph that from our side. So we have a lot of data. Just treat us like a global marketplace where you can market yourself, market your solutions, market your employees, your companies, and even your openings. So we are your partner, and we'll show you today how to find leads, how to find candidates, and how to grow your presence along with your company. So I would like to start off with a question to warm us up. So does anyone know how many new LinkedIn users are added on average per second? Nathan, are you able to help me monitor it?
Yeah, feel free to type in your guess in the chat. Yeah, we just want to get a bit of guessing going.
Let's see.
So Edith said 200,000.
200K every second. Okay, I would love that.
2,000.
2,000.
Any other guess?
Okay, this is great. Okay, I'm going to reveal the answer. So we increase new LinkedIn users, 6 LinkedIn users every second. So by the end of our session today, we will add about 20,000 new followers, new users, I mean. Next, let's go into our topic today. So it's about thought leadership journey, which is your voice on LinkedIn. I actually took some time last night to look through attendees' LinkedIn profile that you shared with Edith earlier. I couldn't look through all of them, but I looked through about half. So what really stood out to me while checking the LinkedIn profile? So I found out a lot of you have more personal followers than your company followers, which means your employees cannot really leverage your connections and turn them into potential candidates or potential customers. You are holding the followers to yourself and not moving that to your company. Second, I will see a lot of the company page isn't as updated or active as your own page. Some of you might not even have a company page for your own company. So this is something that we need to be aware of and look into it today. Third one, your employees are not as active as you on LinkedIn. So you might have a lot of presence, growing presence, a lot of activities, but your employees are not as excited as you. So this is some of the common things that I spot right away when checking everyone's profile. So when you are a thought leader, when you are building your online presence on LinkedIn, we really need to consider those factors and then incorporate into your strategy. Because thought leadership requires a lot of thoughts, requires a lot of attention and planning. And planning is something we can be strategic about. Are you able to give more spotlight to your employee as well and help them and lift them up? Or can you arrange more EX, employee experience activities, and let them have something to feel excited and talk about on LinkedIn? Help them to grow while you are growing. So this is one of my key message I want to share with everyone at the very beginning when we talk about branding. It's not only about ourselves, it's about the whole community. And by doing so, you can open up more connections. You can have a deeper connections with your audience. And when we talk about audience, you really have to know who is your target audience. A lot of time, since I handle both Taiwan market and Hong Kong market, a lot of people ask me, so Nicole, do I need to post English or Chinese? What language should I use? Then I will ask them, then does your target audience read English or do they read Chinese? So know your target audience and be aware of your surrounding. Lift up your employees, lift up people in your community. Next, so other common mistakes that I spot from the profiles is a lot of you don't have a photo on LinkedIn, and this will really affect your impression rates. Like not many people will click your profile, sadly, if you don't have a photo, and let people know about your location, where exactly you are at. So Hong Kong is easy, but if you're in the States, it's bigger, then tell people where exactly you're at. And summary, don't use a chat GPT to write your summary. Be authentic. It's extremely important to be a thought leader and to have your to bring out your authentic self. So put some time into your summary and experience, be clear. Have a company page as well. Or else when actually anyone, investor or potential customers, when they look at your LinkedIn profile, if there's no company page, there's an instant discount to your credibility. And add a lot of rich media, including photos and videos, to keep it engaging and fun to look at. Because we are not a digital resume, we are a social media platform. Make it fun. Next one. So there's some interesting feature that you can put feature content. Since I reckon a lot of you will have your own, publishing your own content, put it on the top of it so people will know about it. Easy one to boost your impression rate. So I just mentioned about publishing posts, and there's also sharing updates on LinkedIn. Sharing updates is like quick updates. So you can reshare someone's post. It's like a no-brainer. You should do it a lot, like do it very frequently. Publishing is your goal content that you actually spend time thinking about it. You have a point and you want to let your audience know about it. And you won't do this as often. So have a mix is the best. And what exactly are those? So the blue ones, I would say the updates. Company press, hiring news, when your HR are hiring, can you help them to share with your connections and make a post about it? Award news, company event news, those are business updates. And if you only post about business updates, I have to be very straightforward, it's kind of boring. You need to have some warm content and goal content that allow you to form a deeper connection with your audience. Something like behind the scene of your daily work, you have volunteering, team activities, you are lifting your employees, that give them a team recognition, tell them how great they did for the previous project. You have some inspiration that you learn from your peers, share on LinkedIn. This I really found if you post some of the, like with a mix of blue, like updates and publishing posts, When you have those gold content, you will have more followers, new followers, and someone might even invite you for sharing. So here are some of the posts I have collected previously. So look at our LinkedIn CEO. He just commented on our employees' posts, and this is powerful. This will make Gail remember this moment that the CEO took time. We're such a large company, and we didn't know CEO would do something like this. Another thing that's really easy to do and popular content on LinkedIn, some onboarding swags and chocolate or like a t-shirt. Small things do matter. They do make a huge impact. And then if a lot of employees make them excited about it, team recognition, this is my friend, and then they did really well on a previous project. The colleagues took some time to write him a card. He posted on it. These are popular content, and you should really start showcasing that on LinkedIn. I know you all do it, but just show it to more people for more buzz and that people talk about and recognize it. It makes people feel good. Next, after you do all those things, track your progress and see if you are seeing success. Is the right target audience looking at your post? If not, tweak it right away. So first impression really counts. You need multiple touch points in order to lure someone in and to convert someone into a potential customers or a candidate that we're going to talk about today. So in Hong Kong, you need about 63 touch points in order to convert, on average, I would say, in order to convert like a follower or a user to your candidate. This will take up to 7 months on average. So start early. Don't just post about it like a week ago, a month ago. You need to start planning. As we say, planning gives you success. So today we're going to talk about 3 priorities of our people strategy. I'm going to focus heavily on branding, personal branding and employer branding, and this is also my passion. Nathan will talk about talent sourcing, pipelining, and also talent development. So let's talk about branding. So this is one of my new clients. I actually quite love is like how he craft everything. This is actually free. So when you create a company page, then you can also add a product page. So if you are from SMB, financial services, manufacturing, those one you can have a product page. You can also show your feature customers that will add your credibility, instant boost. So you can add those here. And there's a lot of that tutorial, just search on LinkedIn, you can find them easily. And next, so normally, how do we showcase employer branding? There's an easy way to separate employer branding and consumer brand. So when we talk about employer branding, we can ask ourselves a quick question, like Nathan, do you prefer Nike or Adidas? Nathan might say, oh, I prefer Nike because I like the style of it. But if I ask Nathan, do you want to work with Nike or Adidas? Then that's a different question. There's a lot more to consider. So that's employer branding. You need to showcase the life. You need to have a mix of business content and employee life to make your page interesting as well. So life page is a customized as an advertisement page solution page that you can add on top of your company page. And you can put your vision and mission. You can even put your management profile, key technology, and you can have a mix of employee life testimonials on it. You can also build your talent pipeline. We'll go into details in a bit, but it's something that won't change easily. You don't need to update it every week. You might look into every 6 months or even a year. It's always there. And then you can increase certain target audience significantly by having a live page there. It can also help you to increase your apply rate. And feed content is something that we're all very familiar with. It's just posting on LinkedIn, and you need to do it frequently and keep it updated, keep it fresh, interact with your followers, and have a mix of your business content as well. So first impression do matter. So for example, I take Grab as an example, our client, and you can see this is his company page. On the side, there's affiliated pages as well. You can do showcase pages. These are all free. And you do see Grab, they all have a mix of business content and also employee content, and find a good balance for yourself as well. And there's a lot of trial and error. And here is the pay solution. So you can customize the page, and when people go to your page or they don't even know your brand yet, and then we will show them an ad and then bring them to your page. You can do marketing for your own and other leaders in the company. You can showcase your company photos, make them excited. There's also employee testimonials you can feature on. Sometimes you haven't posted a job ad yet, but you can let them know if they're interested to work with you. You can collect their resumes and collect their profiles. So this is extremely effective for branding, for talent pipelining, attracting active talents. We see a lot of success in the strong connections between hiring and your branding side. And that's about it from my side, and I'll pass it to Nathan to talk more about how to source them and how to build a pipeline.
Thanks, Nicole. Hi, everybody. So I'm going to spend the next 10 minutes focusing more on the hiring aspect of LinkedIn. Understand in the last few years, the market's been quite turbulent. There's a lot of buzzwords like talent crisis, talent crunch, talent displacement. So we've heard the feedback globally, and our sole focus is to ensure that people can maximize on our talent marketplace. And there's a lot of updates that we're doing across the platform, which I'd love to share with you guys today. All right, so do you mind just going to the next slide?
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to share some fun facts with everybody. We recently did, an internal statistical review. So first thing first, LinkedIn actually processes 117 job applications every second. So this is furthermore impressive, I think. And in the last few years, this number has gone up quite a bit, and we expect it to continuously go up just because of what's going on across the markets. At the same time, now for every member that's looking for work, you're also able to discreetly put up a little function on your profile that states that you're open to work. Now, I need to be clear for those that have not seen this before. It's not publicly visible. So let's say I put on that open to work function today. When you go to my profile, you won't see it. However, for all of our clients that are using some of our recruitment software to do hiring, you'll be able to pinpoint who's active, who's looking for work, and what kind of jobs they want. So at the moment, we have around 20 million members that are active on the platform. Having said that, globally, 61 million members use LinkedIn to look for work every week. And this number, again, we expect to increase as the months go on. And lastly, the fun fact is 8 people are actually hired on LinkedIn every minute. This has gone up quite a bit as well in the last few years. Okay, so I also wanted to showcase the evolution of how members are using us. So when I joined LinkedIn 8 years ago, Asia was a bit behind in regards to the usage and the engagement. But when we pulled some of the data earlier this year, we realized that not only is the Asian LinkedIn member pool the fastest growing pool, however, the engagement and how people in Asia are using LinkedIn is also changing. So as a recruiter and as previously, and then when I joined LinkedIn, I've seen the talent engagement shift. So now you can see in Asia, most members are 32% more likely to look at job postings compared to Europe, the States, etc. They're also 4% more likely to respond to in-mails as of this year. And we're looking at global statistics. Going to more on the branding side, which Nicole talked about earlier, we've seen an uptick as well. Roughly 26% more Asian members are actively checking out these company pages and these life pages before they apply for work. In Asia, the mobility is quite high. However, the economic expansion is also quite fast as well compared to other markets. So it's very interesting when we analyze these stats. Last but not least, because of everything that's happening in a post-COVID state, we're seeing a lot of members in Asia use our learning libraries to upskill. Nicole briefly touched on this earlier, where LinkedIn is tracking global skills data, which a lot of employers and professionals are looking at. But in Asia, it's 84% higher learning time for our Asian members, which is very interesting. And 1% more are using the software as compared to global figures. So I just wanted to share this with you guys as well. It's a big shift for us here in APAC. So today's environment, we do a lot of work with HR professionals, business leaders, marketers, C-suite, etc. Before a couple years back, we noticed that organizations were quite product focused and process focused. But now the big buzzword is to be people focused. And we look at a lot of different perimeters when we deploy different strategies for businesses. And it's not just about attracting and hiring. Now the biggest war is to keep people, make sure people are happy, which Nicole alluded to earlier as well. So a lot of the focus today is to ensure the entire ecosystem is thought in great clarity, not just from attracting and deploying resources to hire, but how do we keep people for the longer term? So we've expanded on our solutions offerings, and I'll go into it just in a brief context. But essentially, yes, I mean LinkedIn has always been very strong in hiring. But then what we're doing now is we've also incorporated learning, because at the same time we do have a talent crunch, and sometimes it's better to look internally than externally, depending on the role, depending on the market, etc. But there are a lot of themes that we're also using under our solutions offerings, such as using our data to make more informed decisions. Companies now are also considering the DEI, inclusive narrative. It's becoming more and more common in the workplace. Are we looking at skills rather than experience or previous job exposure, etc.? Are we considering internal mobility or developing our leaders? Are we looking at hybrid strategies or strengthening culture? So these are all the things that we look at when we deploy and advise our clients across both hiring and then also talent development. So I wanted to briefly talk about this is our flagship hiring tool. It's called the Recruiter. I've used the Recruiter for about 12 years now, but previously it was only deployed to headhunters. But now this is a very, very effective tool to give complete access to organizations to our global member base. At the same time, we are deploying AI features later this year. Our company is a Microsoft company, so everybody here, I'm sure, has been hearing about ChatGPT, GAI, all these things. So we're going to get new enhancements, which I'll briefly touch on as well. But this is super exciting. It gives organizations an ability to look at candidates faster, smarter, and saving time. Ultimately, everybody's busy with various tasks, and we want to make sure that things are really easy when we do this. And there's loads of different tools and techniques that we have built into the Recruiter when you do searches. There's basically no limitation. And then you can also look at who's open to work, which I mentioned earlier, who's active on LinkedIn, who's following your organization, which Nicole was talking about, the importance of branding. And then nowadays, we do believe that hiring based on skills and persona, to some degree, or passion is more important because you have new roles that are coming up that have never been done before. So we do need to tweak the hiring process a bit, and the Recruiter is designed to do that. I won't go into so much detail, but I just want to let you guys know what we have that's available to help organizations expand. So having said that's the Recruiter license, I'm going to move quickly to the job postings. You guys would have probably seen this. Every single LinkedIn member at some point in time would have seen some jobs. This is also getting tweaked as well. So we talk about AI. We are going to see a time very soon where you don't need to write any of your job postings. Basically, what will happen is the GAI tools that we have will look at the role that you need to advertise for, and we'll write the job description for you. Now, we will have an AI bot that can tweak it because, of course, you might have specific requirements for the job that are different to what our AI function thinks is right. So this is going to be really big for us. Intelligent matching as well. So when we look at skills-based hiring, let's say you're going to hire an AI engineer. Now, we understand that this role is really new. All these tech companies are looking at AI engineers. So we're going to look at previous skills of people that can develop into these roles rather than people that have done the role. So again, like all of these intelligent matching and AI support models will help organizations engage with the right people with the right skill set, not necessarily the right experience, because we're entering unprecedented times, and not everybody would have done these roles before. So this is super exciting, and this is coming post October. So yeah, building your brand. I won't touch on this so much because Nicole spent a lot of time showing some good examples, with Grab, etc. But yeah, this is ever more important. I mean, when we look at data, we're seeing people. We had quiet quitting. We had a lot of terms, throughout the years. And the one thing that has stayed consistent is for organizations that have spent time, doing the right employer branding, consumer marketing, corporate marketing, etc. Those are the companies that tend to stay afloat with stability. So whilst we focus on a lot of different things on LinkedIn, but the core is to make sure your mothership is done the right way. And usually that is the company brands, which I think most of the people on this call, I would strongly advise to have a think about this, because if that fundamental isn't done the right way, then things get a bit more challenging. And 8 times of companies with enhancements on their pages get a lot more applications, they get more outreach. So it could be from a hiring perspective, it could be from a business commercial perspective. Have a look at the company pages, guys. If there's a need for us to support, we're happy to advise as well how you can make it better. Not everything is paid for. There's free functions and there's paid for functions. We're happy to go through both. But yeah, just giving you guys a heads up. Data. So this is interesting. So LinkedIn in the last 5 years has been gathering data. Collectively, we have around 10 billion years worth of data, because we have all these professionals, we have a lot of years of experience that these professionals have, and we're analyzing, the big mammoth that is LinkedIn. And now we're actually advising clients as well with skills data, with geo data, and just general trends. So for example, if you are an organization that is looking to set up shop in Israel or Vietnam, how can you leverage LinkedIn to make those informed decisions? Because we're able to look at specific countries, we're able to look at specific companies in those countries and professionals in those countries. So then you're never really making an ill-advised decision. It's essentially having a GPS. Nowadays when you drive a car or you use Google Maps, you always find a way to do the most effective route, and give yourself time. You usually would take the shortcut. So that's kind of what we're positioned. I won't get into too much detail, but everything that you see when it comes to skills, when it comes to talent mobility, when it comes to company news, all of this stuff is getting tracked. And then we are now deploying this information to some of our clients, which has proved to be very effective. And then yeah, so the other thing that we've been seeing is, whilst traditionally we would always look externally for talent, it's not always the case. So we are big on ensuring that internally we also provide opportunities for our employees, and it's something that we've seen again through COVID that has changed a lot. So when we think about that, how do we strengthen the skills and development of our staff, making sure they have career opportunities, making sure they feel invested on. Hence, it would lead to retaining them and developing them to be the future rising stars of our organization. So LinkedIn Learning is also a tool that I believe some of you might have seen this before. It is on LinkedIn, but we also work with companies to support LinkedIn Learning programs for them. But our focus is on career development, ensuring that the content is backed by our LinkedIn data. So to give you an example, we were very interceptive when ESG was coming up, or like now, of course, it's about AI. Now it's about process optimization, productivity, etc. Whatever the new themes are that we're tracking on LinkedIn, we would immediately deploy content for our users, because we do believe every 6 months there's some form of disruption, right? All of us feel it. Maybe not even every 6 months, to be honest. So we need to stay relevant and continuously ensure that we have the fundamentals to level up and stay competitive. So LinkedIn Learning is a new platform that is being very well received globally as well. Yeah, just to give you a little snippet on this, we have roughly 3 pillars. So it'll be business, creative, technology. These are kind of the 3 pillars of courses that we have. We have just over 20,000 courses. For those that are, in the Hong Kong region, we also have traditional Chinese subtitles. We're investing quite heavily in localization as well, to make sure that all types of members can learn and upskill themselves the right way. But yeah, just want to let you guys know that. Okay, I'm going to conclude with just a few more slides. I talked a bit about the hiring capabilities and the learning capabilities, but what's really interesting is what's on the horizon for LinkedIn now. AI, it's always been inbuilt. Now, I'll give you a very quick explanation of how AI always existed. Now, all of us that have LinkedIn profiles, I think most of us on the call have. You once would have noticed there was a little tab on LinkedIn saying "People you may know." Now, that was the original AI function that was inbuilt, because it'll look at, for example, where you went to school, where you worked, etc. So back in 2014 or 2013, that was inbuilt. But our AI team has always been investing on new resources. Now, of course, now with the giant Microsoft ChatGPT alliance, we're going to see a lot more. And I'm very excited to share some of this with you in just a second. So, for example, what you'll continuously see is, we're just going to go to the next slide here. Members are going to get AI coaching. So one of the things that we've noticed, and Nicole talked about this a little bit, is like, when we talk about publishing, we talk about posting, people sometimes get stuck, right? Like, people sometimes don't know what is an effective post. Even myself, sometimes I'll be like, oh, how do I start this message? Am I crafting it the right way? So all of that will change, because every single LinkedIn member in a very short period of time will have an AI coach to help them with all of the posting, task automation. How do I build a better profile? How do I write a summary? Am I ensuring that there's no gaps? When it comes to thought leadership, or when it comes to research or career guidance, this AI coach will be following each LinkedIn member to make sure that they feel comfortable using LinkedIn and that they can post frequently with ease. So this is all very, very exciting, and it should be coming by the end of this year. This is a little preview of what you'll be able to do in due time. So Sarah King, she's a health coach on LinkedIn. What you'll be able to do, for example, is to just click on the enhance your profile, and then you'll have an AI-powered assistant that will think about what you do and then analyze the global network of people that are similar and offer suggestions on how to tweak and upgrade your profile. So it could be done in a matter of minutes. So, usually this kind of stuff would require maybe 30 minutes to an hour, but with ease now, all the engagement will be lifted by our AI bot, which is super, super exciting. Yeah, we'll just show the video here. So of course you can tweak it, but yeah, it's just a couple of clicks. But yeah, again, it uses LinkedIn data to make recommendations, and you can chat to the bot to make tweaks here and there. So this is coming very soon. Right. Sorry, we're just going to go to the next slide. Yeah. AI assisted job description. So of course, I mentioned earlier, but I wanted you guys to see this, a short video as well. This will save a lot of time for HR and hiring managers, because before, especially with new jobs that are coming up, that are emerging now, a lot of companies are doing skills evaluation, job evaluation, to ensure that we're entering a new work era. So there's going to be tweaks to the job description. So with this inbuilt feature, again, it just takes a couple of tweaks. You'll save a lot of time. All right. So to wrap up, a lot of AI buzz. The other functions of our AI will impact recruiting. We'll look at expediting recruitment marketing. We spent some time looking at Grab, looking at different types of pages. AI will also help us have a clearer vision on what kind of stuff that we need to consider. Nowadays, candidates care more about purpose and meaning to their work. There's a lot of different things that Gen Z care about now. Gen Z is also the fastest growing demographic on LinkedIn globally. So again, with all these things in mind, we need to look at all angles all the time. So customizing candidate outreaches will be done very simpler, a lot more simple as well. Essentially, a lot of recruiting tasks or mundane tasks can be put on autopilot. You can think of it like ChatGPT on steroids. So I think the biggest thing that we need to do right now is to make sure we clearly define what can be done by technology and what still requires a human touch. But yeah, we're at the forefront of that as well. And lastly, just building your sourcing list. Again, like from a hiring perspective or an expansion perspective. Previously we would spend a lot of time doing the planning and prioritization, but again, now I think AI can do a lot of that. So yeah, I mean, all of this is coming in October. I'm gonna wrap up, the sharing today. We covered a lot. Nicole talked about the member engagement, the profile tips there. We talked about thought leadership and how to publish. We looked at company branding pages. We looked at hiring tools that LinkedIn is continuously updating. And lastly, of course, is the AI and how that's going to change everything. So more news to come. Our official announcements for the AI are actually due in October, is when it's officially going to enter the platform and for the users and for our clients, etc. But yeah, so having said that, I think we can proceed into, this is a QR code that actually Nicole, I shall pass it to you to
Yes.
summarize. Yeah.
So this is a QR code. Let us know your thoughts, and you can also input your email and let us know if you would like to know more about our September exclusive promotion. So that would include like about 30 to 50 free LinkedIn learning trial for a month. You will also have a customized onboarding session following with a one-on-one consultation that I remember that's part of the package. So do let us know if you're interested. I know we briefly touched on many different perspectives. So if you want to know more about your company specifically and how we can customize the strategy, let us know. Just put it into the QR code and we will reach out to you very shortly and arrange a time to discuss about it.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Yeah, so we, as Nicole mentioned, we're doing some promotions right now before the platform evolves to the AI era. So if you're interested with any of the stuff we shared earlier, you can just scan the QR code, fill in your details, and we'll contact you. We can also look at, specific company page, personal page, and dive deep into what we shared earlier. So yeah, thank you. Having said that, I think we can proceed to Q&A. Yeah, so we can spend the next 15 minutes, feel free to, I know that there's a couple questions already, which we'll get to right now, but then if there's any further questions, feel free to unmute. We'd love to have more interaction, but you can also just leave your questions in the Q&A. I see a first question here. So, Durok, you mentioned, okay, sorry, I'm just reading the question now. LinkedIn announced that the platform pulled out from China. So going forward, how will the strategy for serving the corporates for talent acquisition in mainland? Also, some profiles that were sent to me from China cannot be reachable. Is it a result of the shutting down? Okay, so I can take this if it's okay. So we're not actually pulling out from China. I know that when the news came out a couple months ago, it made it seem like LinkedIn was shutting down. Actually, we're just tweaking the way we operate in China due to limitations that we have there. But long story short, we're going to focus quite heavily on the exports recruiting strategy for our Chinese clients. So for example, if you are any China HQ'd organization, you can still use LinkedIn to hire internationally. That is the current strategy that we're basically incorporating with our Chinese customers. Now, having said that as well, the existing Chinese members that are in China, a lot of these profiles will not be deleted. So then, we still have access for these people. So it's a bit of a gray area. Like I know that when the news came out, it wasn't exactly clear. But yeah, we're not pulling out. We're just refining the way we work in mainland China.
To add on to Nathan's point, when I think last week when I checked recruiter license, I could still find about 27 million members from China on LinkedIn. So it's just like Facebook or Instagram, they have a lot of Chinese users as well. So hope that we answer your question, Dorek.
I think we had a question from Ken as well. Do you want to take that one?
Okay. So we are a B2B company. How to use LinkedIn as a marketing channel? So there are many ways that you can use LinkedIn as a marketing channel because as you see, we're like a global marketplace. You can market your solutions. So something that's easy and is free to do so, like I spoke about the product page. You can input your products on our page. You can also show that you're featured um, customers on it. And you can talk about business updates on LinkedIn. You can also use Recruiter as a new client's tool. You can reach out to anyone on LinkedIn because normally on LinkedIn, a normal user, you are limited with up to third degree of connection. Third degree of connection means, for example, Nathan and I were friends on LinkedIn. He's my first degree. Nathan's friend is my second degree. Nathan's friends are my third degree. So you could only see up to your personal connection. But if you use a recruiter license, then you can see anyone. You can view anyone's profile on LinkedIn, GM or manager level, anyone on LinkedIn. And you can also explore your company's followers. For example, like it's just something that's on top of my mind. I just thought about it. Because I mentioned a lot of you have a lot of personal followers, and you cannot filter on that. You cannot really monetize that or convert your followers. But if you look into your company followers and use a recruiter license to filter it, you can actually reach out to the people and then reach out to them for your openings or for sales purpose. So I see a lot of founders use our recruiter license for BD purposes and for talent purposes. I hope that answered your question.
I also saw, thanks, Nicole. Wilbert actually had a question. So thanks, Wilbert. I see that you mentioned that your company page has 200 plus followers. I'd like to ask, how do we activate the live page? Yeah, so sorry about the confusion. So if you want to activate the live page, it's a corporate service. So our team can help you with it, actually. We can give you examples or different types of live page plans and the effects, because it comes with marketing, inbuilt features to grow your follower base. So Wilbur, if you like, we can speak about this post event. Give you some options to consider.
A lot of people use the live page for employer branding purposes or just marketing purposes, branding in general. So that's decided by our clients.
All right. Sorry. Just want to make sure that we clarified. Sorry, Wilbert and Ken, if it wasn't clear, let us know. We can circulate back, but can definitely help. Sorry, I saw Jordan's question. So generative AI tools that you mentioned certainly enable good actors to create good content and job listing and the like, but many of my connections have been inundated with fake connections. These tools would also give them superpowers. So what, if anything, is being done for their interests? Oh, so thanks. This is a great question, Jordan. And it's something that actually, so our AI team in San Francisco is reviewing this because we understand that this could actually create, when we look at, let's say, scams, on platforms, fake profiles, etc. We actually have an AI bot that is policing the platform. So whilst there's GAI tools for members, there's GAI tools for businesses. Part of our AI team is also developing like an AI software that only looks at, any fake connection or scam that is on the platform. If you want more details on it, I can share with you, but it's more technical. But yeah, we are looking into that as well, because I think one of the things that LinkedIn prides itself quite a lot is the trust and safety that we have. When you look at rankings, we do global member surveys, and that is very critical for LinkedIn to stay relevant and on top of mind for many of our members. So that is something that we look at very, very seriously. Thanks for the question, though.
I see Candace have another question. Thoughts on collaborative articles any tangible difference posting from a personal profile versus a company page. So if you want to post content on a personal profile or company page, you need to put in different perspective. So I see a lot of founders like they post it and then they go to a company page and repost what they just post on their personal page. So you need to make a difference of that, and then you need to let more employees to manage your company page, so you allow different perspective, and you can also feature them on your company page. So that's my initial feedback. Anything to add from your side, Nathan?
No, I think we have Kenneth. We actually have some marketing playbooks. So if you like, yeah, you can feel free to contact us. I can send you some playbooks that you can have a look at. So like how you can beef up your personal profile and also from a company perspective.
Yeah, I definitely think when you are posting as on your personal profile, the tone that you use is also different. You are in a more personal message to your audience, but for your company, it's like wider and it is broader. It is a more holistic view of your organization, and you allow to spotlight your employees as well. I think this is critical for employer branding and for a company as a brand.
I hope that yeah, our answers are sufficient. If not, feel free to ping us. No worries at all. Thanks, Kenneth.
Thank
Appreciate you as
you.
well.
That's about it. I think, yeah, we can answer more questions. If you input in the survey, we can reach out later.
Nathan and Nicole, thank you so much for all your help. Maybe I will throw in the final questions, which is I was really hoping some volunteer will just give out their company profile and let you guys critique live. But why don't we actually do that for our Founders Hong Kong LinkedIn page? Definitely, I would love to hear your advice and suggestion on how to improve the Founders Hong Kong page on LinkedIn, because I'm sure that even though you just talk about all the best practice just now, maybe we can bring it up real quick and see how we can actually improve it, and we'll learn a lot from that. Let me share in this case. Let's do that. Can you guys see this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I am just in a very simple, I think I did most of the things right. We're all volunteer organization, just a couple of us volunteer. So pretty basic, what this is all about. We have various events, and some of the posts that we do. Is there anything that we should do? So now we set it up. Like, what are some of the things that jumped at you that we can modify and change? What do you think?
I'm seeing a trend, so I can chime in on this a little bit. So the story element. So I know that. So if I look at this, so Founders HK, there's a lot of context on events, things you guys are doing, bringing people together, community stuff, and strengthening. But then, are there specific stories that we can highlight from your founders? I'm sure a lot of the founders in your community are super inspiring, right? How can we zoom in and double click on some of these stories? Because I do find like information is so broad now, but then how do you concisely display a message that would inspire and captivate an audience? I think that is the most critical part about all content that we feature publicly. So a lot of the stuff that we see on LinkedIn traditionally, maybe a few years ago, would be so the events, community work, specific highlights. But then when we think about inspiration and aspirational stories, like how can we maybe zoom in there? Again, it's the nature of your community as well. I mean, usually people that are founders and business owners are daring, inspiring people, right? So then how can we think about that as another hook? Is probably what I'll suggest.
Got it. Okay, so definitely more storytelling. That's a great suggestion.
Yeah, storytelling. Exactly.
I see. Okay, anything else going once, going twice? Maybe we take your advice so precisely, we did it perfectly.
Another one that I spot quickly, I think the content part, what Nathan shared was great, and I need to see to more posts more frequently, and the consistency is the key. Because we've just as we said, we need to have a mix of go content and also quick content. So now I see the posts. One of them, the latest one is 2 weeks ago, and another one is 5 months ago. So I love the content, but we need to see more of it, more
Got it.
updates. So we let people know that we are an active community. Founders
Got it.
Hong Kong. Yep. So I think this is one of the most difficult part is to be consistent.
Yep.
And then, so we need to, if we want to go a deeper layer, then we will ask Edith, who is managing the page? Is it yourself? Have you involved your colleagues? Have you give them the power to do so as well and to share the responsibility? This happens not only to SMB, it happens to large corporation as well. If all the responsibilities is on one person, then, and he or she has too much responsibility, then your page is inactive. Or the founder is organizing the page, so then it's only in his perspective. It's not, you're not crowdsourcing your ideas, and you're not giving out the power to your employees. So it's a common mistake.
Got it.
So looking forward, I hope to see more updates from your side as well, from Silicon Valley and from Hong Kong.
Awesome. We only have 6 minutes left, and I'm going to ask my final question. This is more general. For Raise Capital, we have a lot of startup we invest in, and recruiting is often like the number one challenge. Particular hiring engineers is not easy. I see like sometimes like we can do like job posting for free, right? But at the same time, there's also a pay version of it. Like if we pay, like what is actually sort of the key advantage or benefits for like paying for job posting? What's the difference? Love to learn more.
Sure. Thanks, Edith. Great question. We launched like free job postings for a while during COVID. It was our way of providing more for the community. However, yes, there's a lot of limitations. So when you use a free job posting, essentially the marketing and engagement features that are paid for jobs usually provide are non-existent. So you can think of it as a job posting that's very stationary, and it doesn't really engage with the talent that you'd want it to. Now, we have to think about the LinkedIn ecosystem. So for example, the three of us that are on video right now, we have LinkedIn, but are we active job seekers? Probably not. We might use LinkedIn to do, to look at content, to do engagement, etc. But we're not exactly active. So when you do a free job posting, you're only reaching the active people that will take the time and day to look at all the jobs in a specific area. But that's not LinkedIn's strong suit. LinkedIn's strong suit is because you have both active and passive candidates. So when you purchase a paid for job, let's say it's an AI engineer, for example, and you have different skill requirements inbuilt. When it's paid for, we actually scan, and you can actually specify which skills are critical for that role. And then our AI will actually determine how many people actually fit that demographic. And we don't really, like, the system won't care if they're active or passive. We'll find a way to market that job to the person. So if it's an everyday user like the three of us that are not looking for it, but we are still candidates, in the global working community, right? So we'll find a way to market it to both passive and active. But that is the fundamental difference. So the simple concept, but then when you look at application rates, you look at how fitting this person is to the role. That's when the biggest difference comes in, because we market it to people that have that skill set, regardless of where if they're looking or not, and that will boost up your hit rates quite drastically.
Pay ad definitely can get you more applicants. And another key question is who own the data. If you post a free job, it's an online personal feature. So if you let your employees post it, they own the data. If they leave the company, they bring the data away. And that's happened to a lot of our clients.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's actually a really good point, because I think a lot of times you just send somebody to do it, you completely forgot that the fact that they may leave someday too.
Yes, we're
That's
talking about 1,000 resumes that you collected in a year, and then they could just take it away. Instead, you should use a corporate solution and keep reusing it, because those are warm leads.
Yeah, makes sense. And I'm very sure most of the founders absolutely don't realize that in some sense, recruiting is also enterprise sales, and it just takes a long time to find great candidates. So
That's a great point. When you're in talent acquisition or HR, you're essentially the sales for the company, right? You're trying to acquire people into the company. So
yeah,
we're seeing more HR and talent acquisition, or even just business owners, like, learn more sales skills to captivate talent into their company. We are seeing that trend as well.
Yep. Thank you both of you, Nathan and Nicole, for spending time and sort of show us how to use our LinkedIn 101 for founders. And we really thankful for you guys to take this hours with us. Again, I'm going to actually follow up and share the QR code or the URL for everyone if you guys want to get in touch with you guys or learn more to set up one-on-one session, coaching session with you guys. Again, thank you so much for your time, and we're going to sign off now and hope to see you next month.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks Edith.
Thank you, everyone. Take care. Bye.